Hello dear viewer, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. One of the Samsung DeX subreddit subscribers posted a question asking to fact check if his setup will work for him to play Fortnite on the DeX. The problem with the Fortnite on a DeX, at the beginning of the game there is an option and you need to tap to start the game. Sadly, this button do not work in DeX with a mouse or with the controller. So you cannot click on this button using a mouse input or navigating with the controller. So only one way to do is to press with the finger. So tap on with the finger. And obviously, for example, I'm using a 34 inches ultra wide monitor without touch input. So how to do? So the subscriber posted this screenshot, this quick mock-up of how he's planning to connect this, and he just wants to check if it's doable. So I'm just going to walk through his idea and I will demonstrate that this idea will work. He's going to use S10 Galaxy S10 phone, which will be connected to DeX Hub. DeX Hub can be pretty much any USB Type-C to HDMI device that will output DeX, preferably with the power supply coming in. So power going into DeX Hub, I would say it's a must at the moment. So DeX Hub, then HDMI cable will go into a HDMI splitter. I do have HDMI splitter already connected. I don't want to disconnect this because I will lose all this, but I do have HDMI splitter already connected with power supply. My HDMI splitter has a power supply for a reason that a while back I was recording all my videos. I was doing a webcam, plus I was screen recording on the separate PC, and I couldn't record with OBS because back then for some reason Android had the HDMI, HTPC, HCTP or something protection layer over the HDMI signal. So that's all I was getting is a black screen. So my HDMI splitter with the power supply takes that filter off. That's why I do have with the power supply. The HDMI split. I'm going to actually try to demonstrate, show it to you. Here you go. So this is the power cable coming in. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's the two green lights. Let me try to twist two green lights. I hope the camera can pick it up. So one green light means that the power coming in, another green light means that the HDMI signal coming in. So I'm not sure if this will work with the HDMI splitter without the power supply. In his mock-up, there is no power going into a HDMI splitter, so it might work. He's probably already tested somewhere else, and his HDMI splitter does work as supposed to without the power. So if you're planning something like this, you need to do a bit of more research, because I'm trying obviously with a power supply HDMI splitter, or the powered HDMI splitter. So obviously your mileage may vary. So from HDMI splitter, HDMI cable will go to TV, monitor, PC monitor, etc., to output DeX. And second HDMI will go to micro HDMI to his touch screen monitor. I already asked him what kind of touchscreen monitor he's going to use, and the touchscreen monitor will have 1024 by 768 pixels. That can introduce a bit of the problem when your monitor, your external TV, your gaming monitor, your PC monitor, whatever main display you will use, will be obviously higher resolution than your secondary monitor. So certain HDMI splitters will only output the lowest signal. Mine outputs the highest signal. So even if I'm gonna connect my 1920 by 1080 touchscreen monitor, I will still see 3440 by 1440 pixels on my main display. And this image on the touchscreen monitor obviously going to be aspect ratio squashed from top to bottom, left and right, just to obviously display full pixels on this monitor. And obviously power supply, power input, power supply going to DeX Hub, TV and a touchscreen. And the green line is touch Type-C to A touch input. I'm going to use the USB Type A to USB Type-C going into this monitor to obviously receive the power, same time get the touchscreen inputs back to DeX. So this is connected. So right now I'm just going to take the power, plug it into this, and hopefully, as you can see, okay, this is that's fine. And I do have the picture here. So I have still the full DeX screen resolution running on my main monitor, but same time I can see the certain squashed version of that main image. And if I keep pressing on the app drawer on the touchscreen monitor, as you can see, it's appearing and disappearing on the main screen because it's just showing me that the touch screen working. So right now we're just gonna kill all the background apps and we're gonna try to run Fortnite. So I'm gonna start Fortnite. I hope it works because I had to wait for like 9 gigabytes of data to be downloaded before even starting recording this video. Okay, so Epic Games logo showing, and as you can see, I do have this picture and the same squashed version on my secondary monitor. So right now it says download required another 300 megabytes. It feels like this game is about just downloading data. Anyway, let's wait for this to be downloaded. Let me sort my light. Let me do this and about this way. Just to get enough light going over. Right. So we're just gonna wait for this to download. That's fine. So 300 megabytes should take just no brainer, nothing. So let's wait. I hope it's gonna work. I hope it's gonna work. Okay, you know what? I'll come back when this download is finished. I just don't want you to sit there and wait. So I will sit and wait. Finished downloading, and right now it says Fortnite and there is a button that says play. So if I'm gonna go with the mouse, play, I want to play. Nothing's happening. Use the controller, the gaming controller. Play, pressing start, etc. Nothing is happening. You cannot pass this button if you're using DeX setup and your main display is not touch screen. But I do have a secondary monitor or secondary display, which is, by the way, we maxed it 1920 by 1080 touchscreen monitor. So I'm gonna tap on play and it's changed. Right now it says Fortnite. This may take a few seconds and it's loading and more stuff. So we're just gonna give another second or so for this to finish, and hopefully it's working. Well, obviously it's working. I'm past the play button. So technically the Samsung DeX person who posted this, his idea will work. I cannot guarantee 100% that it will. Well, with my setup it's working. Obviously different kind of HDMI splitters might act in different way. The main monitor difference between the main monitor and the secondary monitor might introduce a bit more problems, but so far for me it's working. So I don't think I'm gonna need the secondary monitor anymore, so I can unplug the power. So this is already off, so that's fine. I can grab my controller, and obviously if I can go and start playing because I went past it. So obviously this is working. So okay, obviously I believe I turned the volume down because I don't want to get penalized by the YouTube for playing some sort of music or something. So right now if I go Epic and let's say 60 FPS high, okay, right, 30 FPS is high, Epic, right, let's do Epic. So save and solo. So I'm just gonna quickly jump into a solo match, do a bit of just jumping around, see how it's performing, but I'm obviously playing with the controller. Obviously mouse inputs, mouse pointer showing all over screen, but I cannot interact with the game with the mouse. So this game only works with the controller or obviously touch screens because it's designed for mobile phones. So yes, this can be played on DeX, but sadly the workaround is needed to pass this play button in the beginning of the game. So mouse does nothing, but with the controller, as you can see, I can move around, I can chop, I can jump, and I can go and try to win and be number one. I don't think that's gonna happen. So let's say I'm going to chop this tree. So you go, everything is, by looks of it, working correctly. So leave the match. So fact checked, it is possible with a pinch of salt. like I said, might work, might not. It all depends on what kind of gadgets you will use to connect all this up. But yep, it's working. If you have something like this questions, you see, just go to a Samsung DeX subreddit group, leave a question there, somebody will give you a help, and obviously, if I have a spare time, I will demonstrate everything in a video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, dear viewer.